All right, guys, welcome back to another video. First and foremost, if you are new to the channel, it'd be really helpful if you guys subscribe and leave a like and a comment. It helps the channel grow a lot. We just broke 1,000, I think 300 subs just today, I think, which is crazy because I think yesterday we hit 1,000 or the day before. So it's been awesome. It's been awesome, and I'm loving your guys' feedback and comments. So I stumbled across this video today from Izzyflys. It's about 2 years ago. In the description, he says, video back from PPL training, had about 15 to 20 hours at this point. Did some hood work and came back to this challenging landing at Hartford Bernard Airport. Winds were at 290, 20 knots, gusting 33, landing runway 02. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch this video together, and we'll go ahead and I'll provide just a little bit of my input. And what I want you guys to pay attention here is the comments are saying that this was not a 33 gusting crosswind. And somebody right here says, because the demonstrated crosswind, or so this guy says 33 knots crosswind in a 172. I think not. And then this guy says, how so? Because the demonstrated crosswind component for the C-172 is 50 knots. If you had 33 knot crosswind, you would never be able to hold the center line, not even close. Those winds were far less when you landed in your video, far less. So in a Cessna 72, so far, the largest crosswind that I've ever landed in was like 17 knots, I think. Anywhere between like 15 or 17. I have no idea. I can't even remember what it was. This is a while ago. But I remember it being super challenging to hold that center line and to land the way I wanted to. And this guy's saying that at a 33 knot crosswind, I think not. So I want to hear your guys' opinion when you watch it. Do you think this is actually a 33 knot crosswind, or do you think this was something less? And then this guy makes an argument. He's like, well, basically saying that there's something called micro weather, where the weather up here isn't going to be the same as the weather down there. And the reporting system that's over on this side of the field is only reporting for that side, and this side is different. So that's what he's getting.
500 checks. Go around is always an option. Absolutely.
Go around is always the option. Always an option, okay? I always say that, like, for coming in for sketchy landings, that I always assume that the first one's going to be a go around, just a little tester run, and then the second one is going to be a full stop. If I have time to do that and I could afford to do that, that's definitely going to be done.
Wind 290 at 20, gusting 33.
33.
Okay, so 290, 20, gusting 33.
Direct crosswind. Literally 290. We might not have.
Sorry, I won't interrupt the video too much. I know you guys want to watch it from here.
Enough rudder.
Right, like I say, that's debating on right now.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll write it down a little bit.
Got plenty of runway, so.
Yep. A little fast, pulling power out, a little high. Riding it down, riding it down.
Nicely done.
Okay, so
They're like hopping all over the place.
Yeah, we are.
let's go ahead and watch this again, and I'll provide just a little bit of my input in this. So first of all, that looked like a really smooth landing for the most part. 33 knot crosswind, I am also too skeptical of. I'm not disagreeing that weather report said 33. I clearly heard it. But in this very moment upon landing, was it 33? Or was it something else, like probably, it looked like, what do you guys think? 15? 20 knot crosswind? Because when I landed in that 17 knot crosswind, that was violent in my Cessna.
Enough rudder.
Okay.
Right.
So when you're coming in, this is what I always tell my students, when you're coming in with a crosswind, okay, you have to kind of fight for that center line. The more out of control it gets, the more to the right or to the left you get, the harder it is to get it back. And then they start this like pendulum effect where they're overcorrecting, and then they go too far to the right, and then they correct, and they overcorrect to the left, and then before we know we're doing S-turns down in the runway. So you need to lock in whatever aileron input you need. So if the crosswinds are coming from, let's say like the left here, let's say we have crosswinds coming directly from our left here. I need to put the aileron into the wind All right. And it may not even be that much, but you do need to put aileron into the wind. All right. And then put that rudder in, that right rudder in this case, to keep your nose on center line. And you have to, it's not like you just lock in this amount of crosswind correction and lock in this amount of rudder. You're constantly changing with the winds, whatever keeps you on center line. And that finesse is what's really important.
Wind 2900 at 20, gusting 33.
So the first thing that I'm hearing, and let me know if you guys disagree with this, but this is what I was taught is, and I think this is what it says in the POH, correct me if I'm wrong, but it says that when you have a gust factor, cut it in half and add it to your approach speed. So if the gust factor is 33, you're going to add, what is that, 18, 19 knots to your approach speed? That seems a little high, but, well, I mean, because the gust factor is high, but is that what you guys do for your crosswind landings or landing with gusting conditions? Is do you take that gust factor divided by 2 and then add it to your approach speed? Because that's what I've always done. I also don't always put in full 30 degrees of flaps. In this condition, I would land with like 10 to 20. But I want to hear you guys' opinion. What do you guys do?
33, direct crosswind. Literally 290. We might not have enough rudder.
Right, I could say that's a.
There's always this moment when you're a CFI and you're just like you're like, how much do I let him control this landing? Because there's a fine balance between needing your student to learn and not wanting to total the airplane. And finding the line between that and like knowing when to put in the inputs without taking away from your student's learning experience is really, really challenging.
Debating on it right now.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll write it down a little bit.
So it looks like his power settings
Got plenty
are
of
about
runway, so
1500. Glide slope
Yep.
looks good.
A little fast.
It looks like he's
Pulling power out, a little high.
a little fast. It looks like he's exceeding the white arc.
Riding it down.
I can't see his flaps. I really want to see his flaps, but I just can't see it. Power's coming idle. I would actually sometimes keep just a tiny bit of power in too for a landing in gusting conditions like this. And then what he's doing right now is that when you're coming in for a crosswind correction, right? Let's say the wind's coming from this way. All right, you want to land with this left main down first. So getting this part to touch down is often what people struggle on. But you put in that input, touch this wheel down first, let the other wheel touch down, and then the nose. But this is the mistake that a lot of people start having is that they don't keep that correction in. So they have that correction all the way down. I'm like, nice, this is looking good. You got that correction in, you're maintaining that center line, and then the moment we touch down, they take it out and we down the runway.
nicely done.
And then notice how he's still on full deflection, right? That is, that's generally what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to keep that full deflection in there. And so you're still fighting to maintain that center line.
Still like hopping all over the place.
Yeah, we are.
Not even getting on the brakes, just letting it slowly slow. Don't even want to pull back for
Number
anything.
9725 Quebec, you can turn left at the end and then taxi to the Hartford Jet Center ramp. Monitor ground on your way in.
Cool. So overall, I want to hear your guys' opinion on this. Do you think this was a 33-knot crosswind landing? If you don't, what do you think it actually was? And then also, if you are a CFI or an experienced pilot, I want to hear if you do the half gust factor add to your approach speed, and to what extent do you actually do that? So for me, doing this, if this was me, I would probably not put in full 30-degree flaps. I'd approach a little bit faster, and I'd keep a little bit of power in on landing. All right, guys, that is the video, and I hope you guys like it. And once again, I really appreciate this YouTuber right here, Izzyflys, for posting this, and I'll link it below. See ya.